I think a big part of being a super connector is like being of service. Just randomly, like I just know people. I personally don't like to have a niche because I'm like, you just never know where you're gonna meet the next connection. One of the questions was kind of like, if money wasn't a thing, what would you do? And I was like,
Hey, this is Mike from Intro Stars, and today we're very excited to bring you a brand new episode of the Super Connectors podcast in New York. And for today's guest is someone really incredible, the one and only Taylor from Taylor Made Connections, the queen of connections in New York. Hey, Taylor, good to see you there.
good to see you.
Welcome to the show. Taylor, I love the name Taylor Made Connections. What a cool name for your personal brand. Can you tell us more how did it come about? How did you become a super connector?
Yeah, so it was passed on to me genetically. My mother is, I would guess, a super connector. She can talk to anyone, anywhere. Like when we go into grocery stores in the bread aisle, she might know someone's whole life story in 5 minutes. And like, it came to me very naturally. And so from her, I think I've been very energized by like meeting people and connecting with people and like helping provide introductions to people.
And so what kind of introductions you typically make on a weekly basis? Is it typically business owners, salespeople, founders, investors? Like, what are the introductions you like to make on a weekly basis?
Everything and anything, honestly. Like the other day in a Facebook group from my neighborhood, there was a recruiter looking for someone that can like refurnish, upholster furniture.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know someone that can do that. And like just randomly, like I just know people. And I personally don't like to have a niche because I'm like, you just never know where you're gonna meet the next connection. So like for example, in high school, my first internship was because my mom had a pattern maker at a nail salon. My first full-time job was through a connection I made in New Jersey babysitting, but then I became a digital marketer in Durham, North Carolina. So I'm like, you don't know, and you can't like, in my opinion, put blinders on because I'm like, you just never know who knows who. And it's just, yeah, I think there's like magic in connecting with everyone. But I guess day to day, a lot of times like job hunters, but sometimes it's founders and brands, all different types of connections.
And how did you build your network over time? Is it going to lots of networking events? Is it mostly people introducing other people to you? Is it going to the grocery store, talking to everyone there, or a bit of all of these things?
I think it's all those things, but
Yeah, yeah.
events. I love going to events. I think there's value in almost every event that I've ever been to. And if you leave with one good connection, that's amazing. But sometimes you leave with 5. Literally everywhere I go. Like I'm thinking about, I went to a Lizzo concert alone once, and I met a group of women that all were drinking, and they needed a designated driver to go to karaoke after. I became that designated driver, and we all became friends. So I'm like, you just never know. And I've worked with some of them professionally. Like one of them was a graphic designer. So I'm like, you just don't know where you're gonna meet people.
And how did you build Taylor Made Connections? How did that come about? How did it become your brand and your business to bring people together?
Yeah, that's a great question. I read the book The Artist Way. Are you familiar with that book?
No?
It's an amazing book. It sounds a little woo-woo, but it's very cool. It's about like spiritual healing through creativity. And there's a lot of exercises and like personal reflection. And one of the questions was kind of like, if money wasn't a thing, what would you do? And I was like, what would I do? And I was like, I would go to coffee every day, all day with people. And the reason is because I like to hear people's stories. And then when I do that, I usually think of like 3 to 5 connections they should know about, be that a person, a brand, an opportunity. That's how it first came about. And then Taylor Made Connections. First, the brand was my name, but then I was out of an event. It was at the Dagny Dover store in Soho, and it was for Women's History Month. And I was networking and meeting people, and I was telling someone what I do. And she was like, oh, Taylor Made Connections. And I was like, what? What did you say? And I was like, oh my God, that's the name. And then I went around and kind of tested it and told people what I did. And they were like, oh yeah. And it just was so like natural.
That's amazing. So how do you monetize that? How does Taylor Made Connections actually make money? And how do you focus on monetization, but still focusing on long-term relationships and building your personal brand? How do you walk that fine line
Yeah,
in those things?
it's very tricky because a lot of people do what I do for free, or they only think you should get paid if it goes the way they want it to go, the connection. But I think about it like a matchmaker for romance. And I'm like, they get paid whether you get married or not. So I'm like, I try to think about that and explain that to people. But also how my first client came about was I sent probably like 300 emails to like everyone in my network and was like, here's what I'm doing. This is what I want to do. And this one person reached out and was like, hey, I'm looking to build my business like internationally. Could you connect me with some international contacts? And like he understood the value of what I provided and was willing to pay for it. And so we got on a call and I gave him a price and he was like, didn't even blink an eye. So maybe I'm like, I should have charged more. But anyway, but it was great. So I think how I walk that line is like by showing the value that I that I bring. And like, it's more than intro because sometimes it's consulting, sometimes it's strategy. For example, I met someone recently that is launching a brand new type of conference and they're looking for sponsors, but very specific type of sponsors, like brands that focus on like neurodivergent people, people with autism. So I'm like, well, I actually have a few ideas of brands that would be good for that. So like helping them also come up with their pitch and like, it's more than the connection.
And obviously, when you monetize connections, is it more like a referral commission on success, like a percentage? Is it like a price per introduction? Like how do you actually price it?
Yeah, I'm still figuring that out. The way that I did it the first time was priced per connection, but I realize now in retrospect that if I connect someone and it leads to a $100,000 business deal, like I shot myself in the foot. So I'm like, maybe it should be a referral fee or like a commission. So I'm still like tweaking and playing around with it. But the first time I did it, it was just based on the number of connections, and then I gave them like a flat fee per connection.
So what do you think of a platform like IntroStars, where anyone can openly post out there what they're looking for in terms of introductions, the deal value, and then really tell you upfront they're happy to pay a percentage of the deal on success to guarantee the introducer gets rewarded fairly compensated if a deal comes out of it. And obviously it helps you track your introductions. How do you think that would change the game for yourself or for other super connectors out there?
I think it's really cool. Like I've gone on IntroStars and I think the platform itself is like very clear, and I think that's helpful because it's like you see what the person is looking for and what they can offer. I don't know, I think it's very valuable and it makes it much more seamless. And it also like puts it in right up front. Like it's not like you have to be like, well, actually I want to get paid. It's like, no, this is like clear, like it's for monetary exchange.
Yeah, so for your business model, it's ideal, of course, where it's super clear, no gray areas, clear both for the introducer and for the person who's looking for an introduction. So how do you think that would change it for young people who want to become super connectors out there? Do you have any specific advice for them if they want to become a connector, if they want to go to more networking events, build their network? Like, what advice would you have for them?
Yeah, I would say like do it, start now. I think like some of the keys for me is like thinking about what you know and what you're good at and what you can offer to other people. I think a big part of being a super connector is like being of service. And I would just start like literally start going like that event that I mentioned for Women's History Month. There was a high school student there, and I everyone was blown away by her, and everyone kind of like made a beeline to her afterwards. And I was like, you're actually special if you're starting so young because people want to like help you.
100%. And so what do you think of your bigger purpose, your bigger mission when you go to all these events and bring people together? No, it's not obviously about the money. It's more about the bigger picture of helping others. So do you clearly define that, your purpose or your mission when you network and connect people?
Yeah. For a while, I was doing a series on LinkedIn defining what a life-changing connection is because it sounds so not dramatic, but a little dramatic. And I'm like, it's not. It can be like the littlest thing. It could be like the person that I babysat for. Like I didn't realize, but like the time that I was doing that, I was kind of auditioning for my first role in Durham, North Carolina as a digital marketer. And I did a lot of digital marketing things with his daughter that I didn't even realize I was doing. So I'm like, that was life-changing. Like my whole life changed by being moved to Durham and like just yeah. So one thing is like providing life-changing connections, but another thing is like creating communities. So like I've done a lot of events in my apartment because I'm like, I think bringing people into an intimate space like breaks a lot of barriers. So like one example is I wrote 45 handwritten letters to all my neighbors. I didn't know any of them. And I lived there for like 2 years, but we're all on different schedules. And I invited them all to my apartment, a studio apartment in New York City, which is not big. And over 20 people came, like from young kids to people that had been in the building over 50 years. And the one thing that I kept hearing was like, when's the next one? And I was like, what? Like, but people are just craving community. And like, I know you've been talking about AI, and I'm like, especially with AI, like people want the one-to-one and like in-person connection.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think we all crave human connection. In the age of AI, human relationships are even more important, and in-person experiences. We all crave experiences. So that's so amazing. Tell us more. Where can people follow you? What are you working on right now? What are you passionate about right now?
So you can follow me on LinkedIn. My name is Taylor Zansberg, and on social media everywhere I'm at Funky Innovator. And my website is Taylor Made Connections. And what I'm working on right now, I'm really interested in connecting with more female entrepreneurs and like learning more about their journeys, and creating more spaces for women to talk about the different challenges they face going into business.
Perfect. Well, I can think of many introductions I can send your way right
Yeah,
now.
please
So.
do.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Taylor. Really enjoyed our conversation today. Can't wait to see you at more networking events and send you some great introductions.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Take care.